Hey, greetings, goddesses. It is time for us to talk about the astrology for August. But first, we dance. Hey, hey, hey. All righty, queens. How are y'all? Happy August. Happy Lammas. Happy Lunasa. How are y'all doing? I'm Tara Milade, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. And I just want to come on and talk a little bit about the astrology for August and do a reading just to give you goddesses out there some guidance for the month. It's amazing. Let me see here. I think I want to play something for you all. You ready? Oh my goodness. I am celebrating each one of you. This has been such a transformational time. I mean, really and truly, we can take it back to 2020. Okay. And I just want to applaud you. This is the season that we're in right now. We're in the season where we need to find the good and praise it about ourselves. We need to take stock at how things are working in our favor because it could feel like so much isn't working in your favor. And it's a time to celebrate yourself. All right. So, yeah, I applaud you, Queen. Welcome to August 2025. You made it. And so, yeah, I am excited to be here to support all the sister friends out there, the goddesses in navigating this month called August 2025. We have more of 2025 behind us than before us. Congratulations. Let's look at the astrology for August. This is for 2025. I mean, it has its challenges, but this is a month that I say is sort of normal for a year as transformational as 2025. We have some planets that are moving into new signs. Mars is moving into Libra. It feels like Mars stayed in Virgo forever. I'm like, what is going on with Mars in Virgo? So we get to see Mars go into Libra, and I think that's a little bit of a challenging placement. I think it will create some challenges for us. Um, but that is shifting. We have Venus moving into Leo, which Venus is not the best in Leo, but I don't have a problem with Venus being in Leo. The reason that it could be a little bit of a challenge is because Venus is the number 2 and Leo is the number 1. So it's a little bit of a self-centered energy. And whereas Venus likes to be taking into account everybody, but Venus takes off the clothes of one sign, puts on the clothes of a new sign. And so we're just going to rock with it and roll with it. Okay. Also, we have the sun going into Virgo. So we'll talk about that. We have a full moon in Aquarius and we have a new moon in Virgo. Um, and we have Mars going direct. So let's talk about, excuse me, Mercury going direct. We'll go on, I think we're gonna go in order. That's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna have Mars on August the 6th go into Libra. And one of the things that I recently talked about on a live stream is the importance of, I would say, the first. mm, Easily the first half of the month. Mars could give us a little bit of a run for the money just because of the planets that it's interacting with. And so starting around August 4th or 5th, Mars will be close to or on that 29th degree and of Virgo. And so it could bring a little bit of a challenge. Okay. Mars Mars being in Virgo, and there was an interaction with the South Node that I think it created some challenges. Virgo is this energy of health and well-being, and so I just think that some people's health and they struggled with it, okay? Um, so now Mars is gonna be on that 29th degree. Now, Virgo is this healing energy, and it has this energy that is connected to, uh, medicine and, things that are a little bit techy. And so there could be something that we're all dealing with when it comes to our health and our well-being, and maybe dealing with the medical system, something like that. Um, it also has to do with our routines. So, right now we're supposed to be changing up our routines. We're supposed to be looking at new ways of operating in the world. And it could be in a number of ways. It could be in the health and the wellness. It could be, Virgo is all about how are you taking care of your home and your car. So it could be something like that where we maybe we can be looking at it as it's like really important for us to finish up some of those things, okay? But and it also has to do with work and workplace. So for some people, karmic things could happen around that time. Mars has to do with focus or focusing on a thing. And so, it could be bringing up something that needs to be focused on in the workplace that hasn't been touched, and it's a kind of like, hey, before I leave out of here, I'm going to need to bring this to your attention, okay? But it moves into Libra on the 6th. And Mars is a planet that's also associated with the number 1, and Libra is associated with the number 2. And so Mars moving into Libra, it creates a little bit of an energy where Mars doesn't necessarily feel comfortable. But, Mars is about focus and passion and drive. And so we could be focusing on things that are Libra. Well, what's Libra? It's relationships. And it's also balance and harmony, things that need to be refined, elegance. It's about getting support and maybe getting support in terms of like a coach or a therapist, some type of consultant, but actually, getting this help that you need. And, Mars is going to bring in that laser focused type of energy. So, you'll just kind of feel yourself laser focused in. I do like that part about Mars. Y- You know, Libra is this type of energy, though, that weighs things. It wants to consider all the sides. And Mars is like, I don't want to do that. I don't have time for that. But maybe it'll help us be quicker in making decisions because Libra is an energy that's notorious for having issues with making decisions. And so maybe it'll bring in more possibility of us making a decision. Um, and also, like I mentioned, it's about refinement, and maybe there's something that we were needing to polish up and make it look better. Libra's also very artsy. And so with Mars coming in there, it'll give us that ability. Mars is this energy that's kind of like it's very raw and it's not refined. And it could just kind of jar you like, "Hey, you need to get this done?" It's like a coach. And so it could be something happening to you or someone showing up or just on the inside of you. You're like, "You know what? We're going to take care of this. We're going to get this done. I know I need to polish this thing up. I started it. I haven't really finished it." Maybe you were troubleshooting with Virgo because that's what Virgo's good at. Virgo is very good at looking at what's wrong and coming up, to a certain degree with strategies for fixing it. Virgo wants to improve a thing, but it's looking at everything that's wrong. And so when we get to this energy of Libra, then Libra wants to smooth it out. It's like, okay, Virgo showed us all the things that need to be repaired and fixed and made better. And so you can use this time to smooth things out and refine them. Maybe you're working on a project of some sort, something around the home. We have Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, which has a lot of us focused on the actual place that we live. Um, to be honest with y'all, I like bringing good news, but Mars being in Libra also can bring a lot of arguments. The one thing that I'll tell y'all to do is just think to yourself, is this argument even worth it? You know? Try your best to not argue over things that you don't have any control over. And so, that's something to think about. Libra wants things to be fair. And so if it's about whether or not something is fair, then that might be worth it. But just for the sake of arguing, no, we're not doing it. Libra's very intellectual. So we could be getting into intellectual arguments, but yeah, maybe it's not worth it. Now, Libra is a sign that has to do with starting something new, getting things done. It's the sign that's associated with fall, even though we're not quite at fall when Mars moves into Libra, but it definitely can get you going. This is an energy that can give you some juice, get you moving. If you feel like you've been a little bit sluggish and not getting things done, it can definitely help you with that. But we also have to remember Libra likes things to be in balance. So we want to look at, are we in balance? Are we out of balance? And use that laser focused energy of Mars to figure out, what is it? Mars is great at strategizing. What is it that we need to do to bring things more into balance? For people who are caught up in legal affairs, this definitely can bring some energy to those legal affairs. So I just encourage you, if you have legal affairs going on, you may want to, speak into the universe. Hey, now that Mars is in Libra, have this legal affair work in my favor. Libra is also about contracts and agreements. And so there may be a little bit more of a focus on contracts and agreements. Um, the other thing about Mars moving into Libra is it immediately opposes the uh, Saturn and Neptune over here in Aries. And so I just think that we need to be ready for there to be things that are a little bit disruptive, or it could be it feels like there's some type of hard situation that you're dealing with. It could feel like a little bit of a burden or pressure, a little bit of stress put on you. Maybe it's to get something done. You were supposed to get something done, you hadn't gotten it done, and now you're feeling the pressure of like really getting it done. Now, it actually could bring to fruition something that maybe you started working on. I have to think about it. Let's see here. One moment. Okay. So it would have happened that Mars and Saturn met April of 2024. It was around April 10th, April 11th of 2024. That began a new cycle. And right now, with Mars about to go into Libra and being opposite, actually Saturn and eventually Neptune, this was all around August, May. I didn't look up the Neptune. I did look up the Saturn and Mars, where they met. All of this was actually in Pisces, but that started a new cycle. And, you have to kind of think back. Okay, what was happening around April of 2024? And then let's see here, Mars met Neptune. That's 2025. Mars met Neptune. Tu, tu. Oh, okay. So it was late April. around that time. So April, we'll just say April 2024, what was happening, and there was something new, and now it's at this point where it's coming, it's like at the full moon phase. So it could be you've been working on something since April 2024, or and now you're seeing something culminate from it. It could be you've reached to the end of the project, you've achieved this thing, you've manifested it. It might have something to do with your health and well-being because this happened in Pisces. It might have something to do with some spiritual experience that you had. A lot of it kind of depends on where where this happened in your chart. But what I did was I sat back and I thought, well, what was going on with me in April of 2024? And two things stood out for me. One was my dad had been sick, and I started at the top of the year, because he had been sick, and it really wasn't until around April that I kind of felt like, okay, well, I was just kind of failing forward. It felt like that year, and behind and trying to catch up. And there was a my audio summit that I was working on, and I just told myself I just got to get this done. And then I was working for another company as a trainer, and it was my first time working as a business trainer. And the last thing was I was still like trying to recoup my health because I had gotten COVID, and that was leading up to my birthday, and it just, like, right now, it feels like I'm doing some things that are very similar. I have similar themes. It's kind of been like, "Hey, should I really start leaning into doing more business, coaching or something like that for spiritual women, spiritual women entrepreneurs?" And, um, me and my I'm still it's so much going on with my dad, and I actually have been thinking I need to do another audio summit. And so it's bringing something back, and for that it could really help you. Maybe you're going to get some clarity because now it's happening in signs that have to do with, hey, let's get going. Let's get moving. Get yourself up, moving and going, okay? So I want you to be thinking about what does that mean? I will say that Mars being opposite Saturn and Neptune, between Aries and Libra is where they're meeting. It's on the world axis that has to do with new beginnings. And most certainly, we will begin to see some things that begin to shift and take effect in the world with that particular transit. I don't remember what was happening in the world of April 2024. I know we hadn't had our election here yet, but outside of that, I don't know. But this is a continuation. That's what astrology is. I just encourage you to use this transit as a time to, you know, get focused on whatever it is that, if there's a plan that you need to get focused on, do that. um Maybe there needs to be a little bit more of a balance between your intuition and action. That could be something else that's coming up. And use it as a time, like I said, to get moving. If you feel stuck, this will certainly get you unstuck. And this one is asking you to be brave and courageous and face some of your fears, face some of your inner demons, and maybe you need to get some support around that. So that's that. Then we're going to have that full moon in Aquarius on the 9th. And so I'll talk a little bit more about the full moon when we get there, but I always find Aquarius full moon to be fun. And, we need that right now. We're in the season of Leo. Aquarius is quirky and out the box and unexpected. So I think we can definitely plan on having some unexpected things happen, especially with that Mars interacting with Saturn and Neptune. Um, Aquarius moon is a time for you truly to celebrate some of your goals and celebrate your progress being made. Sometimes it takes a while to get to where we're going, but yeah, celebrate your progress. And it's like a time to be weird and wacky. And for all of y'all that love sci-fi, have fun with sci-fi and, Star Trek, Star Wars, do all of that. Yeah, all the things. I don't know about all of the things that people do, but y'all do. So it's time just to, be like weird and quirky. And oh, here's a good one. Celebrate your what makes you unique. Okay. What makes you unique and weird? Celebrate whatever makes you weird and quirky. Very, very good for that. It's a great time for hanging out with friends because Aquarius is also people who we socialize with and hang out with. It's very intellectual, so maybe that's something that you'll want to do. But, yeah, enjoy that full moon in Aquarius. I need to look at and see exactly what's gonna happen at that moon, but that's just a general overview for now. We'll talk more about it when we get closer. Okay. Whoo! So then we're gonna have Mercury Direct. Now, this is another reason why this first half of the month is a little bit messy because the closer we get to Mercury retrograde, the slower Mercury is, the more we will feel like, oh my gosh, things are a little bit off. Okay. So I would say just, make sure you honor Mercury retrograde protocols in general. Leave out early. If you leave out late, don't rush. You just need to take your time and get there. Keep your eyes on the road and you know, yeah, that's just how it is with Mercury retrograde. Um and then the other and it gets that way the closer we get to Mercury retrograde. Oh, the things with technology, we could be experiencing that sort of thing. Um Issues, yeah, with any technology. A lot of times people think it's like phones and laptops and stuff like that, but it could be any type of technology. I always say Mercury retrograde is a time to give thanks for um our technology, living in a technological world. Give thanks for it. It's also a great time to take a break from technology. So, yeah, how much can you just in this last 11 days or 10 days of Mercury retrograde, how much can you pull back from technology? Take a technological break, get outside, go have some fun, play some board games, that kind of thing. Let's just try to chill out from the technology. Be gentle with your technology. If it starts glitching and acting weird, have patience. That's something I think Mercury retrograde requires of us is to be patient. Um, you know, Take that time to just slow down and give yourself a mental health break, however many days you need to do that. And also just be mindful of the conversations that you're having with other people as well as your inner dialogue, okay? So these are all things that we'll want to pay attention to while Mercury is retrograde, okay? And in this first and the Mercury goes direct. So on that day Mercury is what is called stationed. It's not moving. And that is the hardest part of Mercury retrograde, to be honest with you. And so once it stations, it's gonna slowly start moving. These planets, when they go from retrograde, they move slowly and then they pick up momentum and start moving faster. Okay. So even the first half of the month, take it easy. Mercury retrograde is still in effect. Mercury don't want to mean you any harm. But it's like, hey, let us honor this Mercury retrograde, okay? Um, okay. Next is Sun in Virgo, which I love, love, love. I always love Virgo season. It's just one of my favorite seasons, and it's so crazy because I'm a Pisces, so it's kind of like, the sun is opposite your sun, right? Whenever there's a season that's 6 months from your birthday, the sign that's opposite your sign, then that means you're at the full moon phase of your, um your sign. So, yeah, Virgo is full moon for me, but I love the grounded energy. I love feeling like I can get a lot done. Where you can make improvements with the sun in Virgo. Um, yeah, it's such a practical sign, and I think with me being Pisces, I need that practicality. It grounds you. I love that about Virgo. And it's also, it's a part of Lammas, a Lunasa. So it's like this pre or the first harvest. It's definitely this energy where we're feeling that fall energy starting to come in, even though I know it's still so hot, for so many of us. But there is something different. Like the mornings are cooler. For those of y'all who like that, I do not. But the mornings are cooler. And it just it's just creates this feeling inside of us that we know a shift is coming, and that shift is going to be that new season, right? So, yeah, Sun and Virgo, enjoy, focus on your health, your well-being, and how can you be more efficient and neat and clean. And Virgo wants to purge and clean out the inner parts of our bodies, and focusing on that digestion. So just enjoy, enjoy Virgo. I know to be practical, it's like enjoy, but yeah, yeah, enjoy Virgo. And as soon as the sun goes into Virgo, we're going to have a new moon almost immediately. So we're going to have that new moon in Virgo. And, all the things that I mentioned, that's what you want to use that new moon for. I always create a new moon video where I go into depth inside the soul alchemy, spiritual goddess home. That's what I'm going to start calling it. It's your home for goddess based spirituality. And yeah, this is a feminine sign too. Oh my gosh, we're going to have such a good time setting these new moon intentions and being able to get so much done. Virgo is like that to-do list that we can put together. Maybe it's just me, but I just feel like I need things to be streamlined. I want to feel efficient. It makes me feel um more, what's the word I want to use? It's like I'm contained. That's why I love Virgo so much. So make sure you set some new moon intentions. And, we're in, I know that we start these Will of the Years and Sabbats um, seasons on like day one of the month that they start, but I see them as an entire season. It's like saying, well, fall is just one day. It's not, it's a whole season. So for Lunasa, Lammas, we're in this season, and it is, it's all about connecting with the earth, and even to a certain degree thinking about like, what am I going to do moving forward? That's why I love the Will of the Year and the Sabbats, because they give us something to focus on. They help us to reset. And so we want to be using this moon at Virgo to continue this work that we're doing with Lunasa. Okay. So set those intentions at Virgo, and write them down and watch ish happen. All right. And then we have beautiful Venus in Leo. Now, Venus is one of the two feminine planets. We have Venus, we have the moon. The moon is changing signs every 2.5 days. And so we get to work with the energy of, that feminine body. And it's just so important for us to keep up with what they're doing, because, us as feminine beings, we are so aligned with them, right? So, what is Venus going to do? Well, Venus is moving out of Cancer. The majority of this month, Venus being in Cancer, will be a little bit emotional and nostalgic and focused on home and family. And so when we get to Venus and Leo, it's like, okay, y'all, I did all of that. We've done all of the more nostalgic and emotional things. And now I need to do some stuff to focus on myself. I need to look at how am I shining in my life. And it's this energy of the leadership of being a leader. So it's kind of like, how am I leading my life and how am I going to show up as a leader out in the world? It's this energy of ultimate creativity, Venus and Leo together, creative energy. But maybe you're going to be involved in the arts. We have Mars and Libra, that will highlight energy around the arts. We have planets in Aries. It's just creativity abounding in this month. Okay. So, love that about Venus being in Leo. Um, let's see here. What else do I want to say about that? Still, she'll be bringing in that fun, definitely bringing in the energy of let's have fun. Leo's is this childlike energy. So maybe we're going to be tapped into our inner girl, or it'll just be something about the children in our lives. We'll just want to be connected to them and, you know, just loving on our kids. It could be our adult children, but a lot of times, it's also our babies, the little kids in our lives. So first half of the month, I think, is the hardest. When we get to the second half of the month, it just doesn't look off, just based on these planetary patterns. But let's look and see what we get for the oracle reading. So you all know I love to go through the astrology and then pull the cards as all of us are sitting here together. Okay. So let's see what the oracle says. So that's one. I'm wondering if we're going to get any earthy energy. Let's see here. We have air, we have fire, we have earth, and we have water. We have all the elements represented. So I like that. That brings in this energy of balance. That was a fire card, I think, but I don't know which one. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. So the first card we got an earth card. I so badly wanted an earth card because we're in this season of Lunasa. We're moving into Virgo. And this particular card actually is connected to Virgo. Oh my goddess. It is the sun in Virgo. How exciting. Oh my gosh. This is why I love doing the readings like this, because I love it when they just line up so perfectly. So the sun in Virgo. And the name of this card is Nurturance. That's why I'm like, y'all, to me, I just love Virgo. Virgo is such a great sign. The earth mama tends to her garden with loving attention, skillfully nurturing the flowers in her care. Her responsible stewardship is a labor of love, bringing abundant reward and beauty in return. And this sweet image illustrates the ease and joy in nurturing the earth's creation. I just encourage you to do something, even if it's go to a community garden, or maybe you're going to go to the farmer's market. You're taking care of plants in your home. Do something to connect with Mother Earth, okay? Through self-respect and the respect of life, it is easy to revere and care for all of life's creatures. Continue to let your heart be filled with love for yourself and others, nurturing your budding creations into beautiful, right manifestation in the world. So, yeah, some of this is about how are we going to manifest, and are you nurturing your manifestations? Very, very good. Second card. Oh, I told you it was a fire card. One of my favorites. I love this one, the fire crone. She brings me peace when I feel like, I don't know, things are not feeling right. When I get this card, I'm like, And guess what, friends? This card has to do with transmutation, and it is all about the sign of Leo. The sun is in Leo the majority of this month. Venus moves into Leo. we're about that Leo energy right now. So it says the crown of fire is the phoenix rising from her own ashes, reborn through the fire of transmutation. She is ascended form and new creation on earth. And this goddess of transmutation brings her creative force to you to release the old form in yourself so that you may so that you may ascend fully into a new way of being. I actually think that this could be a little bit of that Mars interacting with Saturn and Neptune. I really do believe that that transit, it starts on, I'm just going to say it's from the 6th to about the 13th easily. There may be something around releasing the old form so that you can step into the new form. Yeah, yeah. The Phoenix Crone embodies the transmutation that transforms every aspect of your former self into a new frequency and reality. Wowzers. Let her initiate you into this great life change by releasing all attachments to by releasing your attachments to all that served you yesterday, that you may be purified, electrified, and transmuted now. This metamorphosis brings your enlightenment and is creation restored. So, yeah, we could definitely be finding ourselves um, having some type of transformative experience. That's what I'll call it for this month. And I do believe it will happen closer to the beginning of the month than the end. Love, love, love. We got another fire card. This one is actually both the moon and the sun in the sign of Sag. So, another fire card. It is all about integrity. Integrity. You know, I have been thinking a lot about integrity. It's one of the most powerful things you can walk in. Walk in your integrity. And you want to be thinking about where are you congruent in thought, in word, in deed. Where are you congruent and where are you not congruent? And you want to be able to bring yourself in congruence. That is what integrity is about. In a world where it's like the wild, wild west right now. Always has been probably. But it just feels like integrity is something that is sacred and treasured and not common. So be a woman of integrity. So let's see what we have here. So it says, this glorious full spectrum goddess embodies wholeness and power. She is the shining example of integrity that comes from the alignment and communion of all aspects of her being. Maybe, maybe that the first 2 weeks, this is where we'll really be looking at where am I walking in integrity and where am I out of integrity, okay? She has achieved wholesome balance of the female and the male within herself and radiates with the creative force of this union. And this fiery rainbow goddess is here to celebrate the integrity that you now own in this life. Aspects of your essence that have long laid dormant are now surfacing for full expression. Now, I can tell you the other time of the month where this card could be relevant is when Venus goes into Leo. So that, I guess it could be the whole month because the sun is in Leo also. So yeah, I think this could apply to the majority of the month. Dormant, Dominant personality traits are falling away as your being integrates with the source of who you are. You are now on the path of communion and wholeness, so that you may live in integrity and cohesive power in all that you do. So we want to be on that path of communion and wholeness. Okay? Communion with your we could say the goddess of your lower self and the goddess of your higher self. And that takes being mindful. That takes having those spiritual practices and taking that time out to look and see what's happening, what's there, right? Um, and that integrity is it's just a power tool. That's what I have. But there is this talk about walking in your power also that is prominent with this reading. So where are you not feeling whole and complete? And you want to go on ahead and work on that also. Okay. So let's just do really quickly I'm gonna pull the affirmation for the month. I'm using my I am deck. I got it from Beachbody. The actual deck isn't available anymore, but you can get the downloadable deck. Oh, I feel this one right here. Oh, I love this. I want you to repeat this all month. Hey, I'm thriving. All right. I'm thriving. Is what am I doing that is causing me to not thrive, baby? We're not doing that right now in August because, baby, I am thriving. I reap the benefits of a life spent in health, joy, and contribution. So, where you're not thriving, that is your work. Where do you need to have that nurturance? Okay. Where do you need to have that nurturance? Maybe when you're not thriving, what do you need to release? What's preventing you from tapping into your power? Okay. So where are you not thriving? That's your work for this month. Okay. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you. I would love it if, especially if you're watching right now, going ahead and give your girl a thumbs up. And I hope that you're subscribed to my channel so that you can make sure you get all the videos that I release. And, when I put things on the community tab, I would love it if you joined me in the Soul Alchemy membership. And yeah, I have some special things that will be going there. And also, please join my newsletter. I'm making this video to send out in that newsletter. I created a fabulous newsletter with some rituals and just things to do right now that help us to be aligned so that we can thrive and walk fully in integrity and shine like the goddesses that we are. So, yes, I don't like just putting out content for content's sake. Everything that I share is because I take it and I think about, okay, is this something I want to read? If I opened up this newsletter, if I looked at this post, is this something I actually want to read? Is it going to benefit me? If I see that there's a video, am I going to watch it and actually get something from it where it's going to make a difference in my life? That's the kind of content I seek to make for you all. So join a sister along the way. It's so much more fun together. Remember that Aquarius full moon. Hey, I wish you an amazing August. And I want us to continue to hug each other and love one another and lock arms, knowing that we are going to make it. We just got to stick together. Okay. So I'll put a song on before we leave, and we'll just see what it's going to sound like. I don't know. I just download these songs and it's like, what does that song sound like? So let's see. Different genre. I love y'all. Blessings of the goddess, the ancestors, and the mothers be upon you now and always. Enjoy. Make it a great month. Hey, party, party. Come on, y'all. We're going to dance our way through August. All right? Dance, queen. Dance. Dance. This is nice. Hey, we're going into August like this, baby, okay? This is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna dance. We're gonna stretch. We're gonna have a good August. Come on now. Let's do this. Let's do this. Come on, Queen. Ain't no stopping us now. Love you.